Hello and welcome back everyone to the last of the 3 episodes I made because I was going on a vacation. I've measured out this giant circle area. This will be the B dome. I still need to design this. Then we're going to terraform a little bit of this. And as you can see with the blue dotted line, which I will show you from the sky, runs all the way from there to there. That will be the wall of the zoo, which will be our main focus for today. So, I'm going to grab some materials and design this first section all the way from the start of the B-dome to over there on the corner. And I'll be doing that in a third person. And here we are again. As you can see, I did finish the entire section of the wall that I said I was going to do. And in case anyone is wondering as to why I did this wall now, we are nearing the end of the zoo project in the terms of builds. So I can finally start closing it all off, like as you can see with this wall. But in order for that to work properly, I need to know where my edges are. So I can, as you can see, I can remove all of the mycelium. Actually, let me turn the sounds down just a tad more. Yeah, that's better. From here, it's just in a case of lowering everything to the proper level. Then terraform it to make layers, and this specific section will be done, and this will be repeated off camera 100 times, I think. Way too much, that's for dang sure. In order to create the finished result. And as you can see, I already did some terraforming, but now that I have a definitive edge, it needs to be tweaked yet again. This is something I will be talking about a bit more in this episode, as well as my general terraforming project, something I talked about in the episode I scrapped, so yeah, that's on me. So now I can explain it yet again. And so in doing so, slowly also transform this place into what I want it to be. Now that I've... And here we are. Everything is leveled out, so now let me create a quick edge on this specific section, which I will end here. If you're just starting out with terraforming, a good rule of thumb is the rule of 2. So like here, no more than 2 blocks per shape. So if you want to do, let's say, yeah, we're going to level this one out, so that's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 2 of 1 to create somewhat of a curve, and then go out 2. Sorry, that's 3. And 2 here, 1 here, just to create a bit of a diagonal. And as you can see, I end up against the wall here, and so I'll just do this, pull it through, 2, 1, which won't line up with this, so 1, 2, this is the final edge, and this one needs to be a tad wider just so it levels out. And now that that's done, I can move over here and fill it in completely, which takes a tad longer. So now that everything is in, off camera, I'll walk over there real quick. I added these lights. Those will still be decorated, but first I want to focus on the large future green area. And this little nook here. The reason I'm using pathways here just to encase this singular block is because mycelium doesn't spread over pathway blocks. This is something I learned through Lord Vic on this server. And for today as well, I figure I'd show you how I plan out my trees. And for that I need a tad more wool, so let me grab that real quick. And don't mind the absolute cluster of junk I have here. Let's grab a stack of you. And let's start planning out one tree. I'll show one and then decorate this entire space off camera, just so basically every time the same thing, just with minor tweaks in the use of materials, locations and shapes. So let's say I want a 2x2 tree. Then what I do is remove, of course, the first layer of wool. The reason why I usually use wool is because it really stands out against everything, plus it allows me to color code everything. Like I'm using light blue for that one tree, so over this entire area, everywhere where I want a custom tree, I'll be using light blue. But as I'm going to show you how to build a singular smaller tree, I'll keep it simple. So this is your trunk, just a basic trunk, and then you can go that is also a thing you can do, but we'll get to that when we get there. Then you go out a few blocks. Let's say I want one here and here. That's one branch. If the bottom branches are your you can assume that the bottom branches are your biggest branches. So if these are only 4 long, the ones on top or on the sides will be smaller. So now that I'm here, I'll do this. 1, 2. And don't worry too much about going over certain builds. These are purely decorative, so 9 times out of 10 they actually enhance the visuals. So there's that. And now that we've got this, I can go up a few, and then this one up one more, and then like that, 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 that one, and that one. I never really base them on a specific tree, mainly because I do not possess the skills necessary to, for myself at least, dictate, yeah, this could work or this couldn't, this doesn't work. I just usually build what feels right, and from there I'll move out. And then if you want to create roots, opposite ends place something like this, then go down a block. So in this case I'm removing a lot of grass. And like that you have a basic root. Then you can come here, and here it's instantly in the ground, just to create a feeling of levels. And this is not necessarily the perfect way to do it. This is just a way I've noticed that works the best for smaller trees. Here I will not be doing any bigger trees because, well, the space doesn't allow it, and I don't see a reason to add a massive one when there are going to be smaller trees in here as well. So that's why. And then if you have this, right now it looks really blocky, so let's go to the crafting table and grab, I don't know, 14 is good. Make like 6 of these slabs. The rest will be turned into stairs. And then like that you go to the tree, and here, here, maybe one here. This is something that I tend to do at random points, just where I feel like it's going to enhance the visual look of it. Then a stair here, and here. Here one, there's one here. Move back a tad. There we go. And just like that, you start creating branches. Now, before I continue on the down low, I want to show you something else as well. And that's when you get to this point, add one slab on the end, as if the branches are thinning. And with that same concept, you can do this. Add a smaller branch there, and a stair here, because like it's sort of damaged over there. Slab. Move on to the next branch. This is something I do for basically every tree. And this is just one of many things you can do to enhance the visual look of your trees. And on top of here I'll just do that. And you know, give it a little bit of unique shapes. And 1 second. Yo. Now this is far from done, because now I need a bunch of those. Let's say that. And I want, oh, I don't have enough sticks for that. Let's make a bunch of them then, because I need these. And let me fly up. And why I specifically use fence gates is because you can make them look like they split. We all know how, oh yeah, right. There. And there. And place one here. Open it up. Like that, that's the end of your branch. Or at least one of the options you have for an end branch. Another one I'll be showing as well, because just everything like this is pretty basic and boring. And remember, this is all still very much a basic shape. And now I'm going back here, making the other variant. And let's make 9 oak fences. And now instead of flying up, I'm just going to use you again. And by using this, you can make smaller branches. So if you want to do that, there you go. Now of course there is a option of just adding them like that. But that, to me at least, tends to look very simple. Something I don't have a feeling with this. Oh well, what do you know? It actually kind of floats. But yeah, you can add branches like this and go here. Oop, I don't have enough, so let's remove you because this looks just plain wrong, in my opinion. We'll grab this one actually to build off. There we go. And something I did over at the episode I did with Vic's church area is just add a light here, and it will give it a more living feeling or magical feeling. Now that I've got this, I'll need to empty out my inventory because the next part is going to take a lot of materials. First of all, before I even start decorating the top of the tree, I start at the bottom like this, just to, we're of course in a mycelium biome or a mushroom biome, and with that you got the advantage of basically all the leaves looking very lush. Those are oak, and I forgot one. It should all be here actually. Of course, if you do larger areas, you like this tree here is the same concept, just pulled to the extremes to create a similar feeling like that. And I completely forgot we have something called glowberries, so yay me. And as you can see, all my stuff is an absolute mess. This is not a personal preference or anything, it's just that, oh, I need this real quick and then I'll just chuck it to the side. So, let me quickly try and find my azalea leaf shulker box. What I'm doing now with the whole just removing blocks or leaves, you can get them real quick, so it's not something I tend to pay attention to. But like this, you add a little bit of green. And let's add some more here. Over a root. There we go. And that is basically your base done of the tree. Now if you go to this area, what I do is usually just do the bottom part first. This also kind of guides me as to what goes where. If you're more advanced at terraforming, you'll use a lot of different colors and patterns, but frankly, I'm not at that point yet. Nor will I be for the foreseeable future, and I'm a-okay with that. I'd rather understand what I do now than just start adding and adding and adding without really getting what I'm doing. I'll make one branch on camera and the others I'll do off camera, just so I have a general shape. Let's see, I want some oak here, because those are way more vibrant than the azaleas. Oak. Yep. Yep. Filling in this gap. And an azalea here. Just adding a little bit of everything. Now that I've got this corner measured out, I'll go down. And oak, flower, 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 oak. Give it a bit of thickness, just so it doesn't... Give it a bit more thickness to its leaves and design, just so you get the feeling that it's a actual tree and not something you built. Because most trees that you see always have a bunch of leaves everywhere, including on the ground. Hence why the shrubberies. And just like that, you've got a relatively well designed tree. Of course, as you build along or build your own trees, you'll constantly be adding more and more details, less details somewhere, because it might not work as well. But you repeat this on this side, on this side, on this side, and the smaller ones on top. Top it off and make sure it's never truly flat. And with that you build an entire tree. So now that I've shown you this branch, let me finish up the entire tree and I'll show you the end result, including small tricks to give this little space here a little bit more life. And like that, with the same techniques I explained before, I kind of created this. I like this a tad more than this side, mainly because it just shows the brighter leaves on the bottom and the azalea leaves that look a little more weathered on the outside or on top. There you have it. This is how I create my trees. This one is an extreme example. Ended up doing some work with that British dude and Jam Bob killing a bunch of withers. In a previous episode I made a few trees based on a wall outline, and I wanted to show you how I did that. So if we go up like this, then out, I want one here, the other one down there, the other one I want up here. So only this one needs to go. And then you can do stuff like this, removing these again. This one will rest. Oh, that's a shame, that's a shame. And I'll just keep it short like this. Then if you go to this one, you go out one, up, and move out one here, just to give it a more dimensional living feeling. And with this one it's basically the same story, just you move out like this. And of course the view actually, but it's the official plan is of course to level out, or sorry, that's the word I was looking for, measure out the lines of all the main branches that you go off of. I like to use wool because of its distinct color, and if you look at it like this, this is the basic shape, and if I were to add a bit more detail I would do this, just to make sure that the tree has all the shape it needs. And from here you would replace it with oak or spruce or dark oak or whatever color you personally prefer, using stairs and slabs as I did with these two to give it more thickness, loose branches. And as you can see, we finished up the area. I added a single spruce tree, and as you can see I added some basic azalea trees as well. I will be tweaking this at a later date, just giving it a little more of everything actually, because there's a lot of things that I will not edit it. But that will be done on a later date. I've also added a few statues, you know, a kid running around, one on the swing, pointing to the stars and warning him not to stand on this chair, just casually sitting here because, you know, farmer. They need a break too. Then there's one under the tree, and let's see, I've added this, gave it a bit more green, and added a entire section right here because I felt like it needed a little more. And in doing so I added the wall up to here, which still will be going to roughly the aquarium over there, and then from the aquarium all the way around to the horse club and the future bridge, and from there back to the B zone, just so it all is closed off. There will be a gateway over here that moves on to that area. As you can see, right there is the mountain I made a while back. But with that, oh, well, what do you know? I forgot a few lights. I'll be adding those soon. Anyway, with that, this episode is coming to a close and everything has been added. And I'll do a quick flyover just to show you how it all looks now. Because this is the horse track. I can't find the right things to build there. There's the parrot tree I still need to do and a few more pens. And then the inside of the mob house needs to be finished, and this tree as well. And then we're basically done with this place, with the exception of all the animals, which will all be collected in a separate video that I will be making soon-ish. It all depends on how quick it goes. So with that, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!